This is Lesson 25, Session 4, Converting Measurement Units. To start this lesson, how many liters are equivalent to 250 milliliters? So pause your video, solve, and then we'll work on it together. Okay, looking at important information here in this problem. 250 milliliters. And we need to find out how many liters are in 250 milliliters. So 250 milliliters equals some number of liters. Okay, the milliliters is the smaller unit and the liters is the larger unit. So we want to move from a smaller unit of measure to a larger unit of measure. So we're going to be dividing because it's going to be less liters than milliliters. And there are 1,000 milliliters in a liter. So we're going to divide by 1,000. That means moving our decimal point 3 places to the left. And so our answer is 2,500ths liter. Okay, the example at the top of page 525, how many liters are equivalent to 100 milliliters? Look at how you could explain your work using conversions. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. Liters are larger than milliliters, so the number of liters will be less than the number of milliliters. Divide the number of milliliters by 1,000, or 10 to the power of 3. 100 divided by 1,000 is 1/10, because dividing by 10 to the power of 3 changes the placement of the decimal point. The digit 1 from the hundreds place has a value of 1/10 in the quotient because it has moved 3 places to the right. So the answer is there are 1/10 liters. Number 1. Jillian makes 10 1/2 gallons of lemonade to sell in 1-quart bottles. How many quarts of lemonade can she make? Show your work. I know that there are 4 quarts in a gallon. So 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So if I have 10 gallons times 4 quarts in a gallon, that's going to give me 40 quarts. And we know that half of a gallon is 2 quarts. So we're going to add 2 quarts for that 1/2 that's right here. And we're going to get 42 quarts. Number 2, how many kilograms are equivalent to 450 grams? Show your work. Make sure you're pausing your video so you can do the solution on your own, and then press play to check your work along with me. So 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. Okay. So we're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit. So we're going to be dividing because there will be less kilograms than there are grams. So we have 450 and there are 1,000 grams in the kilogram. So we're going to divide by 1,000, which means moving the decimal 3 places to the left, where we get 45 hundredths, and we can get rid of that 0 there on the end. So 45 hundredths kilograms. Number 3, how many milliliters are in 180, how many millimeters are in 180 meters? Okay, so the meters is the smaller unit, the larger unit of measure. Millimeters are smaller. So we're going to have more millimeters than the number of meters, which means that we're going to multiply our number of meters to get our number of millimeters, because there will be more of these than there are of these. So we have 180, and we're going to multiply by 1,000 because there are 1,000 millimeters in a meter. So we're going to move our decimal 3 places to the right this time to make it bigger. 1, 2, 3, and we're filling those spaces in with zeros. So a comma goes right there. I see 180,000 millimeters, which is right here, letter C. Now the second part of this question says Emily chose A as the correct answer. How did she get that answer? So how can you go from 180 to 1800ths? So it looks to me like Emily divided by 1,000 instead of multiplying by 1,000. Number 4, a mining company digs 75 kilograms of silver. They plan to use 1 gram of silver in each special coin they make. How many grams are equivalent to 75 kilograms? So 75 kilograms is the larger unit. We're trying to find the number of grams. There are 1,000 grams that equal 1 kilogram. So there are going to be, our number of grams is going to be a bigger number. So we're going to multiply 75 by 1,000 so that we have more grams. So 75 times 1,000 is 75,000. So we're going to write that in the top here. 0, 0, 0. And then the way we fill this in is we fill in the bubbles that correspond with the numbers at the top. So 1, 2, 3 zeros, and then the 5 and the 7. Okay, number 5. 5 measurements are shown below. Write one of the measurements on each of the lines to create 2 true equations. The measurements are 300 millimeters, 30 meters, 3,000 meters, 3 kilometers, or 3,000 centimeters. Okay, pause and fill them in, and then press play to check your work. So the first one that I'm going to use is 3 kilometers. I'm just going to abbreviate km for kilometers. And 3 kilometers is the same as 3,000 meters. So we've used that one, and we've used that one. And the second one that I'm going to write down is 30 meters. Which is equivalent to 3,000 centimeters. And I'm going to check my work here. 3 times 1,000 is 3,000 meters, and 30 times 100 is 3,000 centimeters because there's 100 centimeters in a meter. Okay, number 6 at the bottom of 527. Complete each conversion below and show your work. So 3 feet plus 7 inches equals how many inches? There are 12 inches in a foot, so 3 times 12, we have 36. Okay, plus 7 more inches is 43. Okay, 2 gallons minus 5 quarts. So there's 4 quarts in a gallon, so 2 gallons would be 8 quarts, minus 5 quarts is 3 quarts. Okay, 5 pounds minus 38 ounces equals how many ounces? There's 16 ounces in a pound. So 5 pounds is equal to 5 times 16, which is 80. And 80 minus 38 is 42. Okay, 60 centimeters plus 4 meters is how many centimeters? So we're going to have to change this meters to centimeters. There's 100 centimeters in a meter, so this would be 400 centimeters. 60 plus 400 centimeters is 460 centimeters. Letter E, 2,000 meters plus 5,000 meters is how many kilometers? So 2,000 meters is the same as 2 kilometers, and 5,000 meters is the same as 5 kilometers. So 2 times 5 is 7 kilometers. Finally, 1 liter minus 150 milliliters is how many milliliters? There are 1,000 milliliters in a liter. So that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters minus 150 is going to give us 850 milliliters. Number 7, how many yards are equivalent to 1,000 feet? Okay, there are 3 feet in a yard. So if I do 1,000 divided by 3, 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9, and when I subtract, I have 1 left over. I bring down my next digit, my 0. Okay, same thing, 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract, I think this is just going to be the same thing over again. Yep. And I bring down my 0. This looks familiar. 3 goes into 10 3 times. That's 9. I subtract, I get 1. I'm out of digits, and I see that these are all in fractions, so I'm going to make this into a fraction. I have 1 of my thirds left over. So that goes on the top, and then that 3 goes on the bottom. So I get 333 and 1/3 yards. All right, number 8. Write each measurement below in the table under an equivalent measure if possible. Some of the measurements may not have an equivalent measure. So in order to help me, I'm actually going to put a graphic up here on the screen. This is what I call the gallon man. So the G is the gallon, and the Q's are quarts. There are 4 quarts in the gallon, and each quart has 2 pints, and each pint has 2 cups. So this is going to help me figure out which ones are equivalent. So 1 gallon, 1/2 quart. Well, I know that's not going to work because there are 4 quarts in the gallon. 4 pints in a gallon. Oh, there's more than 4 P's. 16 cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That one works. So we're going to write 16 cups under 1 gallon. Okay. 1/4 gallon is not a gallon. 8 pints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8 pints works. Okay. All right, 1 quart, we're looking at just one of these Q's now. 1 quart is not 1/2 quart. How about 4 pints? 1 quart has 2 pints, so not that one. 1 quart being 1/4 of a gallon. Yep, there's 4 quarts in a gallon, so 1 quart is 1/4 of a gallon. 1/4 gallon. Okay. 1 pint. Well, 1 pint is not 4 pints. How about 1 pint being 1/2 of a quart? Yeah, there's 2 pints in a quart, so 1 pint is 1/2 quart. And we're just not going to use the 4 pints. journal number 9. Raphael uses a ruler to measure his desk. It is 85 centimeters wide. If he measures the width of his desk in meters, will the number of meters be less than or greater than 85? What will the measure in meters be? Explain how you know. Pause and write down your explanation, and then press play to see if it matches mine. It's going to be less. It's actually 85 hundredths meter. There are 100 centimeters in 1 meter, so a meter is the larger measurement unit. The width of the desk measures fewer meters than centimeters. I can determine the width of the desk in meters by finding 85 divided by 100, which is 85 hundredths. All right, there are no green pages that go with session 4. So all that you have left to do for lesson 25 is to log on to iReady and complete the lesson 25 comprehension check.